to another episode of Many More Games. Oh dear, let me just get that sorted for us. Okay, that's about as good as I can go. Welcome to the episode of Many More Games. Today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking with you a little bit about something that I've been doing along with my friends in our local shop. What I want to talk to you guys about is how to get engaged with Age of Sigmar, some fun ways to get involved in the hobby, to get started with the hobby, and to be a proactive member of your gaming community. So, thanks Twisted. Nice to know I sound good. So, what have I got right here? Well, what I want to talk to you today is about a little thing that we're doing at our local shop in Trabana, which is in Friedrich Mystic. It's not too far away from where we live. Myself and Twisted are both members of a group which I humbly set up, and it's called Tale of the Warlords. Now, what this is in the White Dwarf, which is the Warhammer Games Workshop magazine, whereby they advertise their products, they do battle reports, they show painting, they do stories, all sorts of things like that. They have a competition, or not really competition, more of a challenge that they do, normally at least twice a year. And this is called Tale of 4 Warlords. And what they normally do is 4 people decide they're going to start a brand new army. And so they follow certain challenges along the way. They take a starter box set of one of the different groups. So, for example, if you're playing Age of Sigmar, it could be one of each of the different 4 alliances. You would have a Warlord of Order, a Warlord of Death, a Warlord of Destruction, and a Warlord of Chaos. Now, if you don't know what those are, I suggest maybe you look at my older videos where I go through what each of those actually is. But just to quickly run down for you, Order are the people who are trying to build civilizations. Now, that doesn't mean that they're good. Okay, and I want to completely clarify that. It does not mean that they are good guys. Okay, it means that what they are people who are trying to build civilizations, maybe with their own agenda, but trying to make sure that there's some sort of order to the world. You then you have the forces of chaos, who are the complete parallel opposite of them. And the forces of chaos are they are the 4 different demon gods, and each of those gods is like one of the great vices of humanity. So you've got Khorne, who is the god of blood and bloodlust. You've got Tzeentch, who's like the manipulative trickster who likes to weave fate and change people's lives and cause mutation. He's also like a master of magic. You also have a group called 2 more gods. One's called Nurgle, and Papa Nurgle, big jolly god who likes to spread disease and pestilence. And then finally you've got the missing god, the god who's at the moment vanished from Age of Sigmar, and he's called Slaanesh, or she Slaanesh, depending on which where you stand on the table, because Slaanesh is both male and female. And Slaanesh is the god of sort of greed, gluttony, and vice. And so these are the 4 chaos gods, and you could your warlord might choose their forces from demons and warlords who've sworn themselves to those powers. You might be the warlord of destruction, and that's like orcs, goblins, ogres, giants, giant monsters. All right, these are just people who are trying to break things and not really trying to build anything. They like to go up to the forces of order, break down their cities, eat, drink whatever's there, destroy it, go off and destroy another city. And finally, you've got the forces of death, and these are the forces who owe all their allegiance to the grand god Nagash. And Nagash is funnily, he used to be a mortal, but he ended up perverting the magic in the old world and transforming himself through manipulation of using a radioactive substance called warp stone to sort of mutate himself into this living dead idol. And all the forces in the Force of Death all like pay homage to Nagash, the god of the dead. And this can be vampires, a very traditional sort of thing. Vampires, ghouls, zombies, and ghosts, which is the newest army. The Nighthorns, which is the newest army. Anyway, so talking about Tales of the Four Warlords. Now, Tales of the Four Warlords, as I said, each person chooses like a starter set from each of those different alliances, and they build up their army slowly over time. It's normally a 6-month challenge, and each month you have certain goals that you have to reach. In the case of the Tales of the Warlords that I've set up, now I've called it Tales of the Warlords, not Tales of the Four Warlords. There's a reason for this, and that's because we have more than 4 players. At the moment, we have 5 people who are involved in the competition, in the challenge right now. Hopefully, as we introduce more of it to the local gaming community, we'll get more people involved, and we'll be able to maybe make it Tales of the 10 Warlords, whatever. That would be fantastic. At the moment, we have 5 people, as I said. We have 2 people playing for the Forces of Order, but they're very different. I am playing with the Forces of the Stormcast Eternals, who are the followers of the god Sigmar, and are half demigods themselves, made of lightning magic, and encased in heavy armor, sort of like paladins from D&D, that sort of thing. Then my fellow Order Warlord is going to be playing the forces of the Drukgyal, the Dark Elves, and he's doing this really cool way. He's actually not using Games Workshop products. He's using another company called Raging Heroes, who makes another set of models based on sort of Dark Elves. There's more female models involved, not just male models, which tend to be dominating in the old Warhammer range. We have 2 Chaos players. One who's playing the forces of Khorne. That is Twisted. You will see, if you go and check out her videos, I'll put a link to those in any descriptions that I can for this video. But if you go check out her videos, she actually has done some sit and paints where she's actually started painting up her Khorne force. I suggest you go and have a look at that. And the other warlord that we have, a guy by the name of Roman. He is going to be playing the forces of Tzeentch, who's the polar opposite to Khorne, and a very magical army full of chittering demons. And finally, the last player is a guy called Michael, who goes in our local as well, and he's going to be collecting the forces of the Nighthorns, so the ghosts and ghouls. So, Tales of the Warlords, as I said, has a 6-month period. And the first month you start with a start collecting box or a starter set. Now these are normally about hello to both of you. Yes, if I sound a little bit echoey, it's probably because this room is a little bit echoey. But hopefully I've got the doors open, so that might have been mitigating it just a little bit. I'm also shouting because I'm excited. Hello, Versha. Thanks for dropping in or keeping an eye on it, lurking on me for the moment. Thank you. Where was I? So yes, the first month, the goal is for each of us to start painting up a start collecting box set or equivalent. Now, what I have done is I've actually bought the Soul Wars starter box set for my Stormcast Eternals, and I have bought, and so I have here a starter force for the Sacrosanct Chamber of the Stormcast Eternals. Now, Stormcast Eternals is broken down into 3 chambers at the moment. Hello, Versha, thanks for popping in to say hi. And so you've got, so yeah, so I'm saying we've got 3 chambers at the moment. We've got the warrior chambers. That's all the paladins and the fighters going for the swords and shields. We've got the extremist chambers, people who ride on dragons, and I'm not doing that one because it's incredibly expensive. And also, this is the Sacrosanct Chamber, who kind of like the magic users and of the Age of Sigmar, of the Stormcast Eternals. So, what I've done is, I've taken the starter box set, and this is giving me a very nice core set with which to start my army. I'm going to walk you through what I've got here to show you just how easy it was for me to put this together. So, I have in the front rank here, I have 2 units of what we call the sequitors, I think they're called. And these are the line troops of my army. They are equipped with maces and shields, and some of them are carrying big double-handed maces, like this chappie here, to really flatten any people that that get in my way. Right next to them, I've got my Knight Incantor. This lady here, she is a wizard. She's a Stormcast wizard who can cast lightning bolts and create a storm which can attack all the enemies around her. Over here, I've got a unit of Castigators. Castigators are they're crossbowmen, but they shoot like explosive crossbow bolts. So I've got that as well to add a bit of ranged combat to my army. Over here, I have another ranged unit. This unit is my I'll pick him up if you can't see him. I'll bring him over to the front. This is my Boltcaster, which is my war machine, and it's able to fire off a flurry of bows and arrows, flurry of lightning-charged bolts at whoever's going to be fighting me. Over here, you can just about see them if you look at them carefully. I've got a unit of sort of, they're like the knights of this army, the paladins of this army. They are called the Evocators. And the Evocators are magically charged warriors who charge into combat, hit around with their swords and staves, and then blast everybody with lightning. And they're also able to empower everybody around them. And finally, over here, I've got my Lord Arcanum. You probably can't see him very well from the back. Here he is. My Lord Arcanum riding around on his Griff Charger, which lets him speed around the battlefield at a really fast pace. And he's like a warrior wizard who leads my army. The great thing about the Stormcast Eternals is whereby a lot of armies, if you have a wizard, the wizard tends to be a bit weaker than the other people because they have magic. But in the case of the Stormcast Eternals, because they're all knights and they're all encased in heavy armor, these guys are pretty durable, have a lot of wounds, and are able to take a lot of damage, sort of dish it out. Most wizards have about like a 6+ armor save. These guys have a 4+ armor save or a 3+ armor save, depending on whether they're mounted or not. Okay, so this is the army that I have chosen to be my starting force to paint. Now, what that means is I've got a challenge on me now, and I've got to paint this by the 27th of August. So I've got about just under a month in order to get all this painted. It's taken me a couple of days to get it all put together. I've also been painting some other stuff that I've already started painting, and I'm a bit OCD about getting everything painted. And no offense to anybody who actually does have OCD, I'm just saying because I have a bit of a compulsion to make sure I finish the things that I'm starting when I'm actually painting. I'm a few days behind schedule because I had to finish those guys off because I couldn't stand starting with the project without finishing the previous one. But this brings me to the second part of Tales of the Four Warlords, which is really, really fun. The point of this game is not just to build an army, but also to build a story behind your army. And what I've done here is I've taken the basic starter box set, but I've got a very clear idea as to what I want them to do and where I want them to go in the future. This is going to be a very magic heavy and shooty army, mainly because that's the basic units you get with this army. It's very magic heavy and very shooty, but also because it fits in with the theme of the army that I want to create. Now, these guys can be painted a number of different ways. They're almost like to sort of the Space Marines you see in 40k, and they have a different sort of different color schemes that you can use in order to give them specific characteristics or a certain background. Now, I am absolutely in love with the background and the story of these guys, the Celestial Vindicators. I'm going to paint these guys up as Celestial Vindicators. That's the warrior chamber that I really, really like the background for. I'm going to show you an example of a painted model so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this here is a Celestial Vindicator. I've painted him up, as you can see, in sort of turquoises and golds with sort of a bone and sort of red paint finish. As you can see, they're kind of like Grecian warriors or Spartan-like warriors. I'll paint it, stand up. As you can see him. So yeah, this is just a basic line trooper, a liberator. He's one of the guys I had to finish off because I couldn't bear not to finish him. And so, let me put these back. You can see them again. There we go. So, Celestial Vindicators, they're a warrior chamber that have sort of a curse upon them. All of these Stormcasts have something wrong with them. Every time they die, they reincarnate and they come back again. Problem is, the reincarnation is not quite proper. It doesn't work properly, and every time that they're reincarnated, they risk losing a bit of themselves or being destroyed completely. Their souls being destroyed completely. And so, the Celestial Vindicators are a group of these warriors who, when they were dying the first time before Sigmar, the god of order and sort of civilization of mankind, when he saw them dying, he called all these heroes towards him so he could reforge them and send them back as these demigods to fight against the forces of chaos. And what I've done here is I have created a force that I feel reflects an army which will fit into the newest form of Age of Sigmar, where there's a huge amount of undeath hitting the land, demons everywhere. Since all my opponents are demons and undead, I'm actually creating an army which is very good against both. And the Celestial Vindicators, as a chapter, as a chamber, when they were created, they all had like something in common, and that was that when they were killed by their opponents, by the forces of chaos, they cried out to Sigmar not to save them, but to give them one more chance to exact revenge upon the people who slew them, the chaos people that slew them. And so they're really angry with chaos. These guys have serious anger management issues. And so when when they come back, when they start getting their floor, they get more and more sort of furious, and they don't listen to a reason, and they get more and more angry, and it's reflected in their rules. They get like extra attacks, and they get more powerful when they can like lower their armor save, do more damage to the opponent. And I have the idea that this force is one which has been recently sent down by Sigmar to try and find a cure for this flaw that is affecting his warriors. And they are Celestial Vindicators themselves, so they feel the fury, they feel the anger burning within them every time that they take a step on the battlefield, but they're desperately trying to control it, trying to manipulate it and use it for the purpose which Sigmar designed it for, to send them at the enemy, and to kill the enemy, but sort of stay righteous in their anger. And so what they're desperately searching for a means by which they can cure this affliction from their brothers and all the other chambers, so that they can help the Celestial Vindicators and stop them from becoming mindless berserkers. And so this is why it's such a good way to get into Age of Sigmar. What it does, this is a great tool to get you into it. It lets you become part of the lore straight away. You start thinking about what your army is, what its story is, what its background is, how it's going to fight, why it's made the way it was. Did you get the Get Started box set? Great. Yes, that's pretty standard. Yes, it's a template, but you're the one who makes it the army that you want it to be. So you can, for example, I could very much as well chose to paint these guys as a different chamber. They could have been Tempest Lords. Now Tempest Lords are all nobles, and they're all people from the previous life who were kings and lords and princes who fought against chaos and protected their subjects. I could easily have painted this force as that, and these guys could have come down, and their goal is to boost the to boost up the defences of the different of all the different like settlements, and to go around and help fight off the ghosts and protect people. But no, that could have been the story that I could have created for my guys. I was tempted, I really was tempted, but I want these guys to fit in with my other part of the army, which is also Celestial Vindicators. So I decided to go for the driven by vengeance, trying to find a cure for their unquenchable fury. That angle instead. I could have painted Hammers of Sigmar, Hallowed Knights, Astral Templars, Celestial Warbringers, all of which would have given a different flavour to my army. And that's what I've done here. It's got me really riled up and really excited to paint. Another really good thing about the Tales of the Warlords is it helps you build up your army gradually. It also helps you play with a group of friends, get to know people in your local community, and at the same time build up a force that's roughly equal with everybody else around you. I mean, I'm playing with this half of the Star Wars box set. I know that the other guy, who is the Nighthawks player, is playing with the other half of the Star Wars box set, so we're pretty much playing a force designed to base one another. My friend Martin, who's playing the Dark Elves, now he had to make that up from scratch, but we came up with some basic rules as to what would constitute a starting group. So some core units, a hero, a monster, or an elite unit, and a war machine. Okay, so he's basically gone through his collection. He's selected the bits he wants to get painted first. He's been able to direct his painting, so he knows what he wants to get completed, and he's now working on that and building up his Dark Elf force. The person who's playing Zinj really wants to play a demon army, which is going to back up with some people from other armies as allies. So he's already got in mind that this is a force that wants to fight for Archeon, who is the Grand Marshal of the Apocalypse. Giant monster, very powerful, don't know how I'm going to kill him. When we get down to that part. It also means that we can place. It also means that. Sorry, left off Twisted, who is my only viewer right now. Thank you, Twisted. She's painting up the Demons of Khorne, and that's great for her because she's got the Demons of Khorne Get Started box set, which means she has a giant war machine in her skull cannon. She's got some mounted demons on giant juggernaut-like creatures. She's got a hero which we put together out of one of her kits, which has a hero in anyway. We just have to base it so he sits on the ground instead of on top of a chariot. And finally, also a unit of like basic line demon troopers. So she's got like a core box set there, but she's also got loads of other Khorne stuff that she needs to paint, which I know you have Khorne stuff. She's got loads of other Khorne stuff. Yeah, her Bloodthrone demon, that's the hero. She's got the impetus to paint that stuff and to get it all together into a giant demon mortal army. So it's going to be really, really cool. This may seem like a lot, and don't worry, if you do decide that this is the sort of game that you want to play, that's absolutely brilliant. But this is not like the goal every month. The first month is the slog. The first month is the one where you have to paint as much as you can and get your basic core force ready. After that, every month you just set yourself a goal. Second month, you have to paint at least one elite unit. Third month, you have to paint a monster. Fourth month, you have to paint a character. Fifth month, you have to paint an allied unit. So we've got some very checklist ideas for what we want to include. And what that means is everyone will have an army that has different elements from all over the game, plus an allied unit which will be able to add a bit more flavour, a bit more story to what's going on in that game there. I mean, I've already got several ideas about what I want in mind. I might take a treeman ancient who's decided to aid my guys because he's their guide through the wooded lands of Gairan, which is the land of life. I might decide to paint a wizard on the back of a giant chariot which shoots lightning bolts. I haven't decided yet, but I've got some ideas as to where I want my army to go. Probably something magic to go with the army, just stay with sort of the theme of magic being used. But that's just all where I'm going. I'm really loving magic in New Age of Sigmar, and I wanted if there's many opportunities to use it as possible. So, Tales of the Warlords. If you'd like to get involved, if you'd like to try it out with your friends, I've created some templates to help you with starting this up with your friends in your local gaming community. I've based them on the White Dwarf, so they're very similar to the way the White Dwarf lays them out. And what I'll do is I have a website that is attached to this account. I'll put the website up probably tomorrow. I'll make sure everything's up there. And I'll make sure that that's available to you. If you liked it, if you thought it was good, please come back, subscribe. I don't have to subscribe, follow. I'd love to see you guys again. And if you have any questions, please find me on Twitch. Send me messages on Twitch. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. So this is the end of my video. Just introducing you to this way with the Tale of the Warlords. Tomorrow night I'm going to do another little video to try and introduce you to another way you might want to get involved in Age of Sigmar, and that's through board games. And this, I'm going to show you a board game called The Silver Tower. Okay, so thank you very much. It's been wonderful to see you, and keep on gaming. My throat's really hurting. Keep on gaming. Bye. Oh, sorry. I'm still with you. I thought I pressed stop.